Oh, two times. That's it. Are you Laura?
Yeah.
Are you Laura?
Yes, I am.
I'm Carolyn.
Hi there, nice to meet you.
I bought your land.
Oh, you did?
I'm your son's neighbor.
Oh, fabulous.
We didn't go to the same closing. I've been looking for you to say hello.
Well, that was a long time ago then.
Well, I'm moving in on April 26th.
I know we said that. Well, there you go. Sounds good. Beautiful area. It's a lovely area, and it's a great time of year because things are, blooming along the streets.
I love it.
Well, the name was named after me.
I know.
Yeah, because my late husband, he said, well, I had to name it something, so what the heck, the name was Sarah Lynn.
I know he loves it. Nice. Finally.
Very nice to meet you. This is so exciting. There's a lot of
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. You can still do that. Or if you want
I'm looking for. Okay, folks. Settle down. Start the meeting. Folks, hey, settle down, please.
Hello?
Settle down. I'm going to start the meeting. As has become customary, I let folks know that occasionally you'll see me looking at my phone. I'm not checking the Mets score, the Yankees score. I'm communicating back and forth with Melanie, who's running the meeting online. And she lets me know if she can't hear something or there's some problem. So I'm not being rude. I'm focused on what you're doing and just, no, she told me she can hear us fine. With that, I will.
You can check.
With that, I will call to order the April 11th meeting of the Woodstock Town Board. I'm going to skip around on the agenda a little bit. I'm going to go right to the noise presentation. We're going to spend about 15, 20 minutes on this. Not going to take a lot of public comments today, but I'm going to make a couple of statements. One, I just want to point out that we do have a noise ordinance. It does not prohibit outdoor amplified music. That music is allowed. It's always been allowed. But what it does say is that it can't be unreasonable. And what's reasonable at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in the middle of town may not be reasonable at 10 o'clock in the middle of town or even 8 o'clock up in Shady or Willow. So, it's a little vague, but we did that to give law enforcement flexibility. There was never any intention. In fact, when we first presented this to the police department, their initial response, and incidentally, the noise issue came out of not music in town, but the STRs, which were giving us a lot of problems. And that's, excuse me, no comments. And short-term rentals. It did not come because of music in town. With that, I will also say that the zoning law does not prohibit outdoor music, as a number of people believe. It does say that in certain circumstances, the planning board has the authority to require amplified music be inside, but it doesn't say that it can't be outside. And with that, you're gonna give the presentation? So I know that you also have a petition that you're presenting us with,
Absolutely.
okay?
Thing on the paper is on the.
Excellent.
There we go.
Just together, yeah. Excellent.
All right.
So good evening, everyone.
Actually, you touched.
Oh, sorry. Good evening, everyone. And thank you so much for being here. I'm Alexia Howard, the co-owner of the colony here in Woodstock. And with me, I have Liz Bannon and Ben Rollins from the Station Bar here in town as representatives of the venues here in Woodstock. So last summer, a group of local residents asked if they could create a petition to ask the town board to review the existing noise ordinance that was last updated in 2018 to reflect the support of the local community, to find a common set of standards that reflect the diverse perspectives and interests of people across the community with respect to outdoor music, particularly in light of the developments during the pandemic. The aim would be to provide clarity around what is still in place and eliminate language from previous statutes that have been superseded, to equitably accommodate the views of all interested parties, as well as creating a set of measurable and enforceable standards that will help us all move forward. Frankly, I'm so impressed and grateful to the tireless group of volunteers who have garnered over 850 signatures from local Woodstock residents and almost 2,000 signatures from others who have enjoyed the music outside here, particularly when Woodstock came into its own as a colony of the arts during COVID. Huge thanks to each of you who collected signatures at so many events over the last year, and also to all of you who signed the petition to get our voices heard on this issue. We have many suggestions for how the new standards might look, both for everyday activities and also for the process for obtaining one-off permits for special events, which we as business owners need in order to plan our summers. However, tonight is not the forum for prescribing outcomes. Instead, we'd like to enter these petitions into the public record to reflect the support of the community for some form of outside music and to urge the town board to take the necessary next steps to figure out a path forward for amending or updating the existing ordinance. And of course, we're more than happy to help the town in whatever way we can to reach that goal in as streamlined a manner as possible. I'm going to hand it over to Julie.
First, I just wanted to see a show of hands for how many people are here to support outdoor live music. So, hello, my name is
Come on, guys, come on.
Please speak up so the back can hear
okay.
you.
My name is Julie Last. I'm a musician, recording engineer, music producer, and I've lived in Woodstock for 23 years. I work with many musicians in the area, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the local music community, so very many of whom signed that petition. We stand together in support of indoor and outdoor music performances that are not only a vital and vibrant part of Woodstock's identity and economy, but are also an important source of income for our incredible local musicians. We recognize that there are residents living near venues offering music who are negatively impacted by the sound. And we hope to find solutions that will respect the residents, the club owners, the music community, and the visitors who come to enjoy all that Woodstock has to offer. We're suggesting that the Woodstock Town Board review its current noise ordinance. We believe it's important to create a solution that will bring clarity to the details and to its enforcement. We seek a solution that will be fair and equitable, and that will also be in harmony with the comprehensive plan, which recognizes the critical importance of arts and cultural events in this town. We encourage the town board to allow creation of a task force that would include voices from all sides of the issue, that will work together to find common ground, and will make recommendations for adjustments to the zoning code so that it will better serve the community. Thank you.
Hello all. My name is Chris Anderson.
I've been an area resident since 1975 and a professional audio engineer for over 50 years. Part of my job as a touring sound engineer was to make sure that my productions, which were often loud rock and roll bands, complied with the local sound ordinance that was in effect at each venue we played.
Chris, excuse me, we've interrupted.
Oh, no, just let him keep going. Go ahead, Chris.
Keep going.
Yeah, keep going. You're good.
Am I out of time?
No, I think they just want you to turn a little bit. Maybe.
Turn this
You're
way?
addressing the board.
This way.
Yeah,
Yes.
technically you're addressing.
That were in effect at each venue, especially the ones we call the sheds, which are the open back amphitheaters like Saratoga and Tanglewood, which had proximity to residential neighborhoods. Non-compliance at these shows meant severe financial consequences for the artist at the nightly settlement. So this was something we took very seriously. Locally, I was also hired in 2015 to make sure that the Woodstock Animal Sanctuary's outdoor music events complied with Woodstock Ordinance 260-29, which was on the books at the time. In each of these cases, a well-defined technical standard existed in the law, a standard that an extemporaneous SPL measurement could be compared to easily determine compliance. However, the current Woodstock law, Chapter 139, which superseded 260-29 in 2018, offers no useful definition of this type. It is vague, very subjective, and of no practical use. I feel it is responsible for much of the misunderstanding that we are currently experiencing around this issue. Chapter 139 is rooted in the terms disturbing, excessive, and my favorite, a reasonable person of normal sensitivities. Now, while these terms might be able to be defined by a mental health professional, they clearly are not useful in this context. Now, it is not my intention to advocate one way or the other for regarding the advisability of outdoor music in our community. However, I do strongly suggest that a technical framework be codified to any sonic circumstance, so any sonic circumstance can be quantified. Compliance can easily be determined. This is for exactly the same reason we put numbers on speed limit signs. The intangible factors others have expressed in this discussion and will bring up tonight will need to be debated. And eventually these concerns will need to be translated into the numbers in a new document. With this, the venues can evaluate the viability of their business and construction plans. The musicians can plan their sets, and the residents will know clearly what to expect. I thank you for your time this evening.
Hi, thank you for giving us the attention today. And from someone who's put on a lot of loud music outside for the last 7 years, it's been a privilege. And I look forward to being able to, as much as I love outdoor music and just music in general and productions that I feel like it helps keep a lot of kids off the streets. I also really appreciate having happy neighbors, and whatever we can do to help allow Woodstock to be both the drastic differences that it is. I look forward to help figuring out the regulations and help us regulate ourselves and to help support our neighbors to actually live in Woodstock as well. So thank you.
My name is Betsy Mitchell. My husband Scott and I own Pearl Moon. I'm here to support my fellow music venues and request to find a compromise with the community at large where outdoor live music is concerned. As an owner of a music venue, I want the opportunity to offer the option of outdoor music to my customers. Unlike the other music venues represented here tonight, most of our shows are held inside. However, not only would we like the option to offer music on our patio, but we also understand that supporting these other venues in their pursuits is a benefit to our own business. People don't come to Woodstock to visit just one place, they come for an experience. The success of Colony is also our success, and so on and so on. We all benefit from each other. In addition, as a resident of Woodstock who lives in close proximity to Colony and the station and can hear their shows from my house, I understand other residents who may want to know what to expect regarding live music. Now, as someone who can easily hear this music, I believe that it's not only unfair to expect residents to listen to nonstop live music, it's also just as unfair to expect music venues to totally refrain from live outdoor music, especially for those venues who rely on this as a major part of their revenue. We just need to decide that a resolution is necessary, be willing to work together to decide what that resolution can be, and finally to agree that we will live by it and all support each other.
I'm the last one. I'm Lizzie from Bearsville, so I don't have very much to say because everybody said it so succinctly. It was wonderful. There's two things really. One is there could be a technical fix to this. We have tried that at Bearsville. We have tried having microphones in the woods on our borders and trying to keep to a decibel level. So I agree absolutely, Chris, that if we can set decibel levels or set quality of sound levels, that would help enormously because then it's defined. And the other thing that is really important to all of us in the venue side is not to take too long over this, not to take a year, not to take 2 years, because it's killing us. It's killed us. We will conform with whatever regulations you put up, but at the moment we're all on the side of caution and it's affecting our businesses. So please, when we make a plan to do this, can we have a dead stop date that means that we can get going after that? That's it. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just really quickly. As written in the 2018 comprehensive plan, supporting the arts and cultural institutions has been identified as a high priority by the Woodstock Comprehensive Plan's community survey respondents. Our lively arts and cultural venues and events contribute to the town's identity as a colony of the arts and provide strong support for the town's economy. This issue must be part of the conversation as a directive for our town board and community as a whole. We appreciate the town's efforts in 2018 to address the issues of sound and noise ordinances. It's come time to update the zoning codes with more clarity and equity for all regarding amplified music at our outdoor venues. If a group of local volunteers could solve the highly controversial drum circle dilemma back in the day, then we should surely be able to do the same over this issue. A creative community can create solutions. Therefore, we as Town of Woodstock residents want to change the existing zoning laws, chapters 260, 28, 29, and chapter 139 under noise to reflect all the town's residents' needs through a compromise. We suggest that the town will create an inclusive committee to implement a new law and or revise the existing laws in order to create a fair and balanced solution for all. Thank you.
For individuals from each side of the discussion. So if you could provide me with 4 individuals, I'm going to reach out to a number of folks who have taken a different position and see if we can't start to, like next week, meet at the town offices here, spend a month or so, and then present something at a public meeting. Okay, thank you. Let me just say a few other things. One, the individuals must be town residents, okay? But Chris, I know you're across the border, and I would relish you being a technical advisor to this band of merry mischief makers. So I hope you'll consider that. The other thing is that our law as is, again, does not prohibit outdoor amplified music. It does, however, have a caveat in there about 11 o'clock being a hard cutoff. So I would tell the venue owners that the police have been instructed in fairness to all sides to really stick to that. So let's try and end, music a little earlier, and especially while we're trying to resolve this issue. So thank you all for coming. Public hearings at the end. No, but we'll let's do it later. And I will invite you to be a member of the discussion.
Melanie, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we're getting an echo, but at least they can hear us.
So we're going to continue. Okay, so as we have a couple of members interested in continuing. We have a couple of members who are interested in continuing.
Supervisor, actually, I've been confirmation from every single member of my SBR task force.
Okay, excuse me.
Every single one is staying, so I can read the names of every single member.
Well,
They have confirmation.
I'll have this conversation and I'll have 3 conversations with them tomorrow.
Martin Milton said he's staying on. Lori Ilgesocker said she's staying on. Linda Lover, who's here, is staying on. Karen Bavette is staying on, and Mark Antwin is staying on. I have confirmation
All
from
right.
every single member, so I'm just
I'm
letting you know.
in the middle of a statement, so thank you.
Yeah, you're
So
welcome.
with that, I'm going to send those names over to the VR3 committee to start drafting a local law with Laura's committee. The second is the sign task force. So back before the pandemic, we put together a task force to look at signs. And we actually had it constituted, but they never met. The pandemic hit, and that went to the wayside while we dealt with that. Signs proliferated a little bit. The board was okay with that back then due to COVID and that businesses were trying to stay open. But with that, we told everybody when the pandemic was over that we would be moving back to the rules and regulations. However, we also said that we would reconstitute a committee. So I am putting a call out for anyone interested in participating in the sign committee. I'll reach out to the chamber, the planning board, and the zoning board, and the CCD. They were involved back then. So anyone interested in that, get in touch with me and we'll put a committee together.
I also spoke to Grace Murphy at the very much like to be interested in having representation from the complete.
Reach out to Grace and get her involved as well. Another thing that's coming up, there's a new branch of the Rotary Club is establishing themselves in Woodstock. They're not quite fully established yet, and they're still working under the Kingston charter. However, they have reached out and they're partnering with the town of Woodstock and Ulster Savings Bank to do a town cleanup of the local roads. The cleanup is going to be on Saturday, May 20th. It's going to be between 10 o'clock and 2. Participants should come to the community center. There will be a flyer up in the next day or two on Facebook, and folks can check in, and there's a way to register. You can also call the supervisor's office and we can register you. The last thing is just a brief update on the shady dumping. The owner of 10 Church Road has been working on a plan since last fall. One of the items on the plan was to do the testing of the fill, which was done back in December. That testing came back and there was nothing earth-shattering on it. The owner is going to start in the next week or two. He's applied for a permit, and we'll start in the next week or two to remove the fill from the downhill side of his property, restore that grade to its existing grade, sift out the construction debris for removal, and spread the remaining fill over on the other side of the property.
Is there a written plan about that?
Yes, it was actually sent to you guys.
No, that was
with notes, yeah.
I'm looking for a written plan for the removal of all of them, all of the.
Okay.
Do you have that?
No, we don't have that.
I mean, I think it's the unconsolidated aquifer, and it could threaten the municipal water system.
Actually, it can't then. That's a little dangerous to say.
Well, I'm reading right here from the Woodstock Environmental Commission report,
Oh.
and that's exactly what it said.
The DEC doesn't seem to share that concern. Or the county health department.
The DEC did
They have seen the soil testing.
The soil testing?
Yes.
I'd like to see the soil testing. I haven't seen that.
Oh, yes, you have done it. I'll find the date that I sent it to you. That's all been emailed to you along with the water testing. You've been copied on everything.
We need to remove all of the stuff.
Okay.
Did you say okay?
Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
Something's not gonna cover.
Okay. With that, I have a few resolutions. Be it resolved to hire Brandon Albertson to the Highway Department as a grade 3 MEO at a rate of $24.21 effective April 3rd, 2023. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Just let me, I don't know if Jackie can hear us. So let me. 5-0. Be it resolved to authorize the town board to sign Highway 284 agreements, which you will all copy them.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Before you go, actually, let me give it to you now. Just so we don't forget. So this is a case where each member could sign there. Be it resolved to hire Corey Schmidt, full-time permanent police officer, effective March 24th, 2023, and an hourly rate of $25.72. All in favor? Aye. And that's, we've done this before, but he's passed all his testing, so we always have a second resolution. Sorry, Reggie, you seconded that? Yeah. Be it resolved to accept the resignation of Dominic Policastro, full-time dispatcher, effective April 3rd, 2023.
Okay.
Discuss.
Could you give us an update on the number of full-time dispatchers that we have? I know that this is the
Second, yeah. So we went from 4 to 2. I believe Lori has one that we're going to be hiring soon, and we have about 8 part-timers.
And is that sufficient to keep us 24/7 on dispatch?
It is at the moment, yes.
When you say it is at the moment, we need to be back up to 4.
We need to be at least up to 3. And unfortunately, there's no test out yet. We're waiting on the test.
So shouldn't we be hiring part-timers?
Well, there's a call out for part-timers, yes.
Oh, excellent.
Yep. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Didn't we have somebody ask for a part-time designation?
She actually withdrew. She decided not to. I think she just has.
I didn't see it. No.
She withdrew with Lori. I mean, you can talk for Maria Lannis or something.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Be it resolved to rename the water sewer generator capital project number 0.091 established by resolution 108-2021 to the water sewer fund generator capital project number 0.091. Be it further resolved, the purpose of this fund is the purchase of a portable generator and provide for installation of transfer switches at pump house 2 and sewer treatment plants. And so originally what we had done is we were looking at a smaller generator just for the water pumps. We've decided in discussions with the different department heads and with Larry at Water Sewer that it would be beneficial to have a bigger generator that could be moved around to accommodate everything. So this bigger generator would work at the sewer treatment plant if that generator were to fail. So all in favor? Or with the question, sorry. All in favor? Aye. Whereas the town of Woodstock and local law number 1 of the year 2019, were under it sought to permit and regulate bed and breakfast and short-term rentals within the township. And whereas the local law authorizes the town board to establish limitations on the number of such facilities within the township. And whereas the local law further authorizes the town from time to time to modify such number of SDRs within the township. And whereas as a result of the COVID pandemic, the SDR cap was reduced from 340 homes to 285. And whereas the attached list of property owners are those who obtain county numbers for inclusion on the permitted SDR list within the township. And whereas all the owners in the attached list use their property for only part of the year, which makes these dwellings unavailable for long-term rental units. And whereas the inclusion of the attached list of property owners will fit within the cap limitations established by the town pursuant to the provisions of local law of the year, local law number 1 of the year 2019. I should say the original cap limit, then the original cap limit. And whereas the obtaining of the county ID number led these property owners to believe they were legally permitted to operate an SDR in Woodstock. And whereas the lessening of the severity of the pandemic now permits the town board to communicate more effectively with the general public. Whereas the property owners listed do not qualify for other rental options, therefore be it resolved as follows. Property owners on the attached list have 30 days from the date of the passage of this resolution to apply for an SDR permit. To the extent the cap limitation on the number of SDRs must be modified to accommodate the individuals on the attached list, the town board will do so. That it shall be a requirement that property owners meet all conditions imposed under local law number 1 of the year 2019 for eligibility for inclusion in the SDR list. And the town board confirms that the expansion of the cap list to accommodate the homeowners on the attached list will be beneficial to the town and its residents. And the property owners attest they meet the following conditions. They applied for their county ID number prior to May 2020. They assumed their county ID number permitted them to operate an SDR in Woodstock. They used their residence in question part of the year. Their use of the residence does not permit long-term rental.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
Yeah, I'd like to offer an amendment to start the word prior to the beginning of in line 1 under the therefore resolved, and insert the word by 2020. I understand that all of the people on this list signed up thinking that this was going to be by 2020.
May.
And when we saw the resolution, the words prior to the beginning of it, it's put it in there instead.
Actually,
so I'm really concerned that
May 2020 captures all the individuals on this list.
No, it does not.
No,
I'm in November of 2020. There are 3 people.
when did you applied? Hold on. You applied in February 2020.
I began my application process in February of 2020, not for a county vote, but also a county permit.
They applied for their county permit prior to May 2020.
Did not.
You told me,
I never told you that. My permit, my Woodstock permit, application began in February of 2020. I had my protected in case I was forgotten to be the full pandemic that began.
we're well aware.
I came out to this town in November, was informed that I needed to.
You told Lisa, who told me today, that you applied for your permit in 2020, your ID number, in February.
No. But the Woods PR process in 20.
So November?
November.
So
you can make it November, then everyone on that list will be.
so I'll make a motion to amend May to November. Any other questions? Bennett, do you have any more?
no, I don't have a question. I'm just glad that my noise was correct.
All in favor? Who seconded that? Laura? She applied for it. Whereas the soccer goals on the Como soccer field are in need of replacement due to the normal wear and tear, and whereas the nets are available for use of the general public, therefore be it resolved to expend up to $5,000 from the Recreation Capital Reserve .002 for the purchase of a pair of soccer goals. Be further resolved, this resolution is subject to progressive referendum. Be further resolved to authorize the town clerk to post in the edition of the official newspaper of the town on April 11, 2023, the Woodstock Town Board adopted a resolution authorizing the expenditure of up to $5,000 from the Recreation Capital Reserve .002. This resolution is subject to permissive referendum pursuant to the provisions of Article 7 of New York State Town Law by order of Town Board. Second. Any discussion? All in favor? Be resolved to appoint Susan Painter to the Woodstock Environmental Commission, term to expire 12/31/23. All in favor? Let's vote first. Discussion.
I just wanted to say how really pleased I am that you're going to be joining the amazing community. Later, and somebody who's worked really hard to protect the environment. You'll be joining a group of like-minded people who are doing the same thing, are taking on really big projects like the CEA that they successfully did. Collaborating with you on terminal with something. Forward to hear from your voice, to really need to see you again. So
Okay.
I look forward to seeing you harder than thank you.
So that's really grandstanding. It's not a question for the resolution. All in favor? Aye. Whereas the town sought bids for the rental of a postage machine, and whereas the town received several bids, and whereas Grading is low bidder at $149.99 per month, therefore be resolved to authorize the supervisor to sign the rental agreement. With Grading. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so I'm going to skip public be heard because most of the individuals that signed up here were for short-term rental, and we're not getting good volume. So with that, I am going to move to go into.
There were two people who wanted to be heard in the public.
Yes, they were. I have. Ben, did you have something to say? Claire? Okay. Come on. Yeah, come on up.
It would have been because it was related to the music thing. Thank you. But I will brief because my questions are mostly technical. I will identify myself. I am a member of the group of residents who had to organize 18 months ago because of what had happened to our homes and the We made the planning board aware of the severe sonic impact on our public commons of the new type of very loud outdoor concerts that have been allowed, especially on the public exemption. We want to put on record, and it is already the planning board, that we were on the 3rd of November 2021. We wanted to advocate, and we wrote that, to advocate with them proactively on the importance of helping all of our businesses expand outdoors in this post-COVID time, but in a controlled manner without discarding the long-standing provisions in our zoning laws that have kept our musical coming in good harmony for decades. I have myself lived here for 10 decades. I think I make it sound like it. We're still actively engaged in this process. We also want to say to all those good people in this field, this is not about music. We all hear about music. And we have lived it in our lives. Thank you to the people who petitioned today. It was helpful. This is obviously a very moment because it is asking to change laws that have served us so very well. I don't think we should do this lightly. We only heard about the presentation of the petition, but we know about it just 2 days ago. So we did not have time to kind of allow the type of support that came here. But I was cautiously when I was busy speaking and could speak, I found we have so much in common. There's only one thing that I should make sure. So let me just say, we have a petition for the board today. I understand, and we also want to move this issue quickly, but we will respectfully request for the petition to share with the board something more than Facebook emoji, because there are 8 months of deep work that has been done with the planning board, with data, with recordings, with analysis, and what is going to help the issue. So So we would like a chance to share with the board, sort of a comprehensive perspective. What we have suffered and why we're still here today instead of enjoying our homes. And we don't know how much time we have to put this together. And we want to know how we can make sure that you read it in a timely way.
So I'm not going to address your questions today, but what I would ask is that next week, I do plan on starting a committee, and I hope you'll be part of that.
Yes.
Again, this is,
Is fresh, and people get lost in the weeds.
okay,
Whereas when you write, it's there, or sound. I will have, so we will write to you.
Perfect.
Read it.
okay. We're well over the 2 minutes. Okay,
Yeah, because I really to understand what you said today.
okay.
All right, so I'm making an appointment with you sometime this week.
Tomorrow or Thursday would be better.
Yes.
Okay.
If we write to the board, we expect that what we read, starting in next.
Okay, I'll send you before we start the commitment. Okay. I'm hoping to convene next week.
Next week, today being Tuesday, that will be 13.
Next week. Okay.
We were not told, and we didn't know.
Okay, but all I'm asking is that at 4 names, there are a couple of other individuals I'm going to reach out to. Okay, thank you, Claire, we will. I read everything that you've sent me. Okay. Okay, well, I can't force them, but thank you. Claire, thank you. Fanny, do you? Claire,
For you, we could print out of my link.
thank you.
Because you
Do you have a- Do you have a copy for each of us?
Yes. I have a copy. If you get cell phone number, thank you.
Can you give that to Reggie and I'll make you a copy tomorrow? Promise. Thank you, Claire. Fanny, did you have 2 minutes?
This is about the TV. Still, I think we should have, this. First of all, it's still the sound on the TV hasn't been fixed. So there is a lot of residents of Woodstock that Spectrum is not giving them sound. I don't know if you have talked to Spectrum or what.
Multiple times.
Well, then we have a meeting.
And they say there's nothing wrong with any of the equipment. I don't know what.
Well, there are people that are not getting the sound.
Mhm.
They are not inventing that. There are many of my friends that they are not getting the sound.
Right.
And the spectrum, not only is happening here, it's happening also in Newport.
Mhm.
I don't know if you heard, is that right? So we have to do something about that.
Okay.
So because they are many, and the other thing that we should, I think the residents of Woodstock would like to listen to the, to the town board, like it was before. They don't have to go to YouTube, they can go to the channel 23 and watch it there today. They should have different options to watch it. So I think there should be a CD every week so that we can put it on the station.
Okay.
And the other thing is like the station hasn't received any money for already many years. And it has to be improved. And I think we were told already by Ellen.
That has a budget.
Huh?
It has a budget.
No. It has to be improved. There's a new engineer, that he suggested that he would, do things a little bit better because it's an antique there. So we would appreciate that you are.
An antique?
It's an antique,
Okay.
luckily we have an antique for the TV.
Could be worse.
You have here something very modern that is
No, it doesn't work.
That is not working.
Technology. Okay,
So
thank you,
if you're
Fanny.
gonna ask money to the TV because there are several years that we haven't received that much money.
Okay.
Okay, I appreciate.
Thank you.
And thank you very much for listening.
Lori, I know you had, you want to talk a little about this spring, you had some contact with DOT.
I wasn't able to be at the last meeting when we were talking about following the resolution. But I've checked up my conversation, it's not emailed around to you. But I just want to let you know that I did call Derek Corrigan at the DOT Basically, I just got this, I had a conversation with him in March. He said he's very conscious of pollinators and he has a lot of personal knowledge about if our milkweed is very important. He cited the example of DOT member was median going on in order to let the milkweed flourish. He explained to me, because I called him because I live on Route 212 and I've observed for many years the spraying on guardrails near the stream where I live, at Cooper Lake. I've seen it happen on Xena Road, which isn't just jurisdiction, but I called him because I was curious. So he said that the DOT no longer uses Roundup to spray around signs and guardrails on state highways, which would be 212, 375, and 42 out of Shandaken. He said they stopped 3 or 4 seasons ago. The Ulster County DOT has not purchased any since. The DEP has approved a product called Finale for use on the Ashoka Reservoir, and Ulster DOT is using it. It also uses a product called Plainview that they generally spray once very early in the season when they spray bud. And when I asked him about environmental mineral part of the city, that the label is, in other words, the manufacturer's label as to how things should be used is the law. And again, he stressed that DOT products now. Anyway, he then stated that if the town had, if DOT had a commitment from the town or from individual property owners, specific guardrails and signs on their property would be marked as no spray, and suggested that perhaps a permit process could be used for homeowners or the town to remove the weeds. Did note that weed whackers are 2-cycle engines, which could mention their own battery on. Something like that could work. He also stressed that should some sort of permit situation with property owners of signing an agreement happen, people doing the work in lieu of the DOT should be properly attired, hard hats and bright clothing. I just wanted to add, and I have this in my, I looked up Finale on the EPA.gov site, but I did see that in its fact sheet it had a pollinator advisory. And I also bookmarked an article, you have to be reading in Finale and something called glufosinate as opposed to glyphosate, which is in Roundup, and I bookmarked an article explaining the difference between the two. The active ingredient in Plainview is something called indizaplan, and I bookmarked that as well as the EPA fact sheet, just so people could read about these different things.
Thank you. So I will warn everyone that we have had a similar conversation a couple of years ago where the DOT indicated that they would be willing to allow outside groups to do this. Looked like we were moving forward and it kind of collapsed, I think, as it went up the chain. Somebody didn't like the idea of the liability, and so it disappeared. But new day, new time, and yeah. So it's worth pursuing. So thank you for that, Lloyd.
Thanks. If I might have to piggyback one more thing, I would just hope that the town would at some point might want to consider weighing in on the possible closure of our school. That would be a worthy discussion, conversation at school board.
So actually, I was going to talk to you about maybe putting a short presentation together or something for next week. Actually, when is the vote going to be?
The vote, it's been, because of parent protest, it's been pushed back.
It has been.
Indefinitely, yes. They're not putting it out as the.
Okay, so then maybe, because I know next week we're going to be doing the zoning ones, so maybe for the first meeting in May. Okay, perfect. Okay, with that.
Let me just ask you, what's the date on that? For my daughter's graduation.
In May?
It could be the first or the second. So it's the 9th or the 16th. Actually, it's.
I think the May is probably the.
And the 23rd.
Yeah, I'm in town, thank you.
Okay, perfect. So either one of those meetings.
Okay, I'll try to do it sooner than later.
Okay. So I'm going to make a motion to go into executive session for the purpose of discussing discipline of an employee.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, public, we're done for today.